Hello, everyone, and welcome back to day 3 of 31 days of Halloween. Today, I'm doing kind of a pop art zombie look. So, if you guys want to see how I did it, just hang out. So, I started by painting my face this a fluorescent orange. I really wanted this one to be different than some of the other pop zombies I've done. I wanted this one to be very neon and very bright. So, I started with this fluorescent orange. I'm pretty sure it's UV reactive. I just didn't pull my light out. So if you're looking for something like that, where you know there's going to be a black light at a party, feel free to use this tutorial. So I just started by kind of leaving the spaces that I was going to fill with different colors blank because this paint does not really dry without a powder on top, and I'm not going anywhere, so I'm not putting a powder on top. So I just left those spaces blank. You can fill everything in and go back and use makeup remover if you want, or paint over top. It's really up to you. I just cut some time for myself and ended up just leaving those spaces nice and blank. Now, if you're going to fill anything in with black, obviously that usually covers everything except red, so you can fill those spaces in. But overall, you just kind of want to leave a few negative spaces, especially if you're just starting out. Like when I started face painting, leaving negative space was very, very helpful in terms of visualizing and helping me learn to do my outlines and stuff. Which I just compiled all my Halloween look pictures from the last 8 times I've done this, and boy, have we improved. That was such a nice little look back to go like, wow, my makeup has gotten so much better since the days of using eyeliner as face paint. So for this one, you notice I have this big kind of clear spot on my head. I wanted to do a brain in here, kind of do like some sort of like, like the brain is still in my head, but it's like infected. So I did this neon yellowy green with it, and I just kind of made a half moon, or I guess this would be like a quarter of a moon or a quarter of a circle. I would add just a little bit more texture to this if I did this again. So maybe instead of just making it round and smooth, you could make it kind of bumpy, but maybe it's smooth because zombie brain, like not a lot going on up there, I guess. And then I took my black paint and just filled in that negative space with black so that it looks hollowed out and very empty. Again, you can use whatever color you want with this kind of thing. You could even do like a neon blue. That would look really cool. But I just went with the traditional black because I knew I was going to be outlining everything in black as well. So once I kind of got all that filled in, I started doing some of my other outlines. The mirror's kind of in the way for part of it, but I started outlining where I wanted the exposed teeth to be. Since I knew I was going to be doing like a very traditional colored mouth, I went in with the black first. You can always go in with white first, but I went in with black. I would actually go in with the white first next time. But this actually worked out really well for me because I went in with this fluorescent pink to do the separations between the teeth. I just drew little squares this time. I didn't try and do like skull accurate teeth because this is supposed to be more cartoony. So you can just kind of do the almost like the way veneer teeth look, where they're very square, they're very white, and they're very blocky. I struggle with drawing teeth. I've done everything from like the triangle method to like little teardrops. Honestly, if you can find a stencil, use it, or just do these kind of square shapes. So you can kind of see here, I took the pink and made square shapes that just line up with one another, and then just kind of tailored the corners so that they were a little bit round with the paint. Now, staying with the pink, I went in and started filling in some of that negative space with the right under the eye. Sorry, I cannot talk today. There are so many distractions right now. But I just kind of outlined where I wanted it right along that orange, which if it mixes, it's okay because we're going to fill that in black. And then I just ended up filling in that entire space with pink. You could really get creative here. I just did this kind of oozing, like ripped skin, but you could also do, if you're more artistic than me, like an eyeball hanging. I've seen people do that where they draw the eyeball kind of just hanging out of the socket. You could do like a worm coming out of there, depending on how infected your zombie is or like rotting away. It's really up to you. And then I just went in and outlined everything here in black. I recommend getting a brush that is a little bit flexible So when you're coming around and doing the curves, it just kind of rolls with the structure of your face instead of being really stiff and creating points. And then to add a little bit of detail to the kind of droopiness of this yellow slimy goo, I added just a few really little lines that I did in little U shapes so that it creates a sort of downward melting effect. And I'll do that a couple times throughout the tutorial as well. This is really the part that I think kind of brings everything together is the outlining. So I outlined a little hole on my neck. I had put a little dot of pink paint there, but it kind of blended away. But I outlined it so that it looks like a little bit of a hole. And then I just took the black and created a hole there as well. And then since I'm not doing a full down the chest piece, I made it look like the skin was kind of like oozing, dripping down into my regular skin. So I outlined the bottom of the orange and again giving it that like slimy little U shape texture and then adding the kind of drippy U shape all down the neck as well. Then I went in on my brain and added just a couple little swirls just to reinforce the idea that this is supposed to be a brain in my skull, and then outlined the rest of that. That was kind of resting against the orange, so it looks very separate from everything else. Then I went in with the white for my teeth. I used a very tiny liner brush so that I didn't have to go over the space I already used before. This brush is at a bit of an angle, so it's actually pretty perfect for this kind of detail work. It's meant for gel eyeliner, but I always use it for face paint. And like I said, I just went in with my regular white cream paint and filled in all those little boxes. You could go in and even have, a couple teeth missing and just fill them in with black, or you could make a tooth cracked or partially there. You can get really creative with these types of looks because they are so whimsical and otherly that you can just go crazy with it. So for my lips, I use this really bright purple lime crime lipstick. I think it's Airborne Unicorn. I've had it forever, but I thought the purple was a really nice contrast here. You could do a neon green or even like a bright pink or a blue. But whatever you choose to do, make sure you go in and outline your lips in black because you want them to look drawn on. And then add a few little white dashes at the high points or heaviest parts of your lips. So that would be the top of the Cupid's bow and then the bottom, just so that they look highlighted and stand out. For the lashes, sorry, not lashes, lids. I told you I can't talk today. I packed on this kind of purpley pink shadow. Again, go crazy with whatever color. This is just to give the eyelids a little bit more consistency with the rest of the look. I didn't do anything super glam because I just wanted the eye sockets to look kind of sunk in and like they're not alive, I guess. For the other little droopy part coming under my eye, I went in with my fluorescent blue. I will say blue face paint, no matter the type, the brand, the consistency, never, ever, ever goes on smooth. So you may need a few layers of this or a good powder to pack on top. Otherwise, it's going to look very patchy and very watery. I literally never used this paint before and it came out so patchy until I added the details. But just like you did with the other eye, make sure you outline it and add your little droop marks. And you can make thicker outlines to make it look more sunk in like I did on this side. And then I just added a few less little droop lines because it's obviously not as big of a space. For the nose, I just went in with the classic kind of skeleton nose shape with the two little triangles to make it look like the nose is just gone. Again, you could really like black it out and make it look like the nose has been bit off, or you can just leave it normal and really contour it with some different colors. And then I added a little bit of liquid eyeliner to my eye. This is just to outline it and give it that cartoony look, less so, more so for the aesthetics of it. I think you can use face paint on your eyelids, but my eyes are kind of sensitive, so I just went with my regular old eyeliner. And to finish off the eyes, I just added a little mascara. You could always add a colorful lash too if you like, but I just did a little mascara. And then for my wig, I went with my kind of dusty pink wig. I thought about doing neon blue, but I thought the pink just contrasted with the orange really nicely. And I just did a little side part and swooped the bang so that you can still see the exposed brain in there. But yeah, this is it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this look, and I will see you tomorrow for day 4. Bye.